Oh hey there, I didn't see you. My name is Joseph John Thompson, but you can call me JJ Thompson, or even J-Dog, or possibly the greatest person that's ever lived. But anyways, this is my plum pudding model.
What are those?
Well, you see, let me first begin by explaining the story behind this masterpiece. It all began when I was born on December 18th, 1856 in England. It was one day, a quiet day. I was in America giving lectures on why atoms are lit. And when I returned to England, I was playing with some cathode rays when I realized that there was a negative charge. There had to be something. Look at this model, my dudes.
What are those two pieces of metal in the tube for?
Well, you see, when a source of energy passes through the two pieces of metal, a beam shoots through the tube, and we call this a cathode ray.
How do you know the cathode ray has a negative charge?
Well, you see, during my experiments, I had a positively and negatively charged plate on either side of the tube, and instead of the ray going forward, the ray curved to the positive.
And how does that tell you the ray is negatively charged?
Because opposite charges attract.
I see. So the negatively charged ray attracted to the positively charged plate. And you said that the negative charge comes from the atom inside the metal tubes?
Yeah, boy. I think atoms as a whole are neutral, but they have smaller particles within them that are negative. We see the negative charge in the cathode rays.
So what are those particles within the model?
These particles within the models are what I call to be corpuscles.
P.S. The corpuscles are now known as electrons, so the name is more specific to describe the charge of the particles.
Using my observations from the cathode ray experiment, I've concluded that atoms have negatively charged corpuscles that are within an atom that is positively charged. With the combination of the opposite charges, the atom is neutral because the positive and negative charges cancel each other out.
P.P.S. Turns out Thomson's idea is slightly wrong because the positive charge comes from a different particle inside the atom called a proton. So the atom itself does not have a positive charge like Thomson hypothesized. Do other scientists have discoveries related to yours about the atomic theory?
Well, John Dalton used to think that atoms weren't made of several components, but I used a cathode ray tubes similar to William Crookes and other scientists at the time for my experiment, and to disprove his conclusion, my discovery of corpuscles answered something physicist Johann Wilhelm Hilfroth hinted at his experiments.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself?
Well, you see, I first studied at Owens College in 1870, but I earned several doctorates in other places such as universities of Oxford, London, Dublin, and Philadelphia. I taught experimental physics at Cambridge. That's when I discovered my love for One Direction. Oh, and I wrote books such as The Corpuscle Theory of Matter, and I won several other awards such as the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1906, but my ultimate goal is to win the award for eating the most M&Ms in 26 seconds. In 1890, I married Rose Elizabeth. She's the negative charge to my cathode ray. We have one son and one daughter. I read them my autobiography, Recollections and Reflections, as a bedtime story every single night. Did you know I lived through World War II and World War I?
Wow, that's so cool. Could you tell us more about...
Oh hey, free sample.